I will tell you something. This is really interesting there. A dog, a snake, a lion. That's it. A lion, a snake, and a dog, a bird. This I itself, this not I, but um, I would say this thing. I would say this thing. I remember itself. I just basically watch before this idea itself. Basically, I don't know, the Alchemist or just this channel about new level, new devil, and new devil, and whenever one overcomes something itself, or basically in an energetic imprint, or basically a threshold, or basically kind of like how the archons, or just basically this force itself, how the archons are basically demons, or just basically their energies itself, how these archons or their demons and their energy itself, their energy themselves, or one is to caught to it though, one is to caught to it, to their vibration or negativity itself, or just basically this loop of intrusive thoughts or rumination itself. When one frees itself with that thing, when one frees itself about that thing itself, it's just that one. When one frees itself in that thing, there will still I, or the one itself doesn't be, well, one itself is basically, you know, this I itself is just another thing though. Transcendence, that's basically itself the channel. Transcendence itself, that's basically the topic of this video. What is really like transcendence, to be honest here? When one analyzes the mind, is the mind is ridiculously so complex, to be honest though. In a sense itself, when one kind of like in reaching to that transcendent state itself, the transcendent state, or one basically seeks and seeks and seek, that seeker itself, would combine something itself, or even as well, and even as well about this thing that basically, just want like comfort, want comfort or of utility or something to use, to be honest, dude. But sometimes itself they're like destroying that thing, when this freaking like negative piece of garbage come, or freaking entities, the freaking like negative entities come, that ego itself should not be compromised itself there, but basically still be allowed for what's good and what's right and what's wrong itself. And specifically this freaking piece of garbage itself exists itself to confuse and confuse itself, when confuse someone, or just wish for someone. So what really transcendence is, because there would be a time itself there where they encounter this thing there that, oh my gosh, I know you have like, I know you want transcendence, to be honest. I know you want transcendence, to be honest, dude. You want transcendence, to be honest, dude. And basically kind of you have this feeling itself that stuff itself there would be kind of like a trap there, or just did something. I want to transcend, and basically this fucking piece of garbage actually come there and say that thing, say that thing, say that thing, to be honest, dude, like wanting to transcend. But the issue itself there would be a thing, there's a middle there, that basically the mind, or how the mind would see that stuff, because in a sense, if there's a holding itself there, if there's holding itself, the mind will see it as just basically, so it thinks that it doesn't want to transcend, or just basically move on, or just change. So basically one is trapped, but really there's no trap, dude. It's just basically this stuff. Literally most of this freaking piece of crap is just talking to themselves, ironically. Literally they're just talking this up. And if one realized that thing, They're just talking to themselves. They're just talking to themselves, not you, but they're just talking to themselves. Then yeah, just the thought or this entities just talking to themselves literally. Then what's it? Literally then, yeah, no attachment at all. No attachment, no association, no connection. Just freaking emptiness. That's it. There's basically this escape there. Just sometimes itself there you will see the eye that want to you will see the eye that want to escape, but in a different context itself there. The mind would see like the thing itself that, oh my gosh, if that's the case, then what? How about what? What to do about my belief though? So yeah, and just seeing this stuff itself, then seeing this stuff itself is just that, remember itself one's nature though. Remember itself one's nature. One is literally not connected to anything though. Not in a One is not connected. Yes, one is everything and one is nothing itself, but in a context itself, that always your nature is empty. That nature is empty. That's pretty much it. The transcendence itself is seeing this freaking stuff itself this flow away though. Not getting freaking stuff, not getting freaking associated with itself. Even itself, the freaking like piece of the ego itself that freaking no, just being there, we just stay there, dude. Just stay there. Just being there, we just stay there, dude. If if you just conform, we just stay or just be still, absolutely nothing would happen though. Freaking that thing or thoughts will absolutely not arise. Please believe, trust. Eh 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 eh. Fake peace, like fake peace itself, or it's just basically the time itself that then the mind itself will know like what's right and wrong, or false and true. And basically you just confuse someone like what the heck is actually the stuff there. Remember, and remember that I enemy. Remember that also that you have no enemies as well. That's it. That's occurring. That's it. This is chaos out. That's it.